Here we are, Dr. Sean again. We're at the Aurora Concorde classes for 2020. We're on Chapter 19. We're going to go over some of the reproductive stuff. And today we're going to start with a little bit of male reproductive system. Now, the main thing we have to know is we're going to talk mostly about what are called the gonads. Gonads, G-O-N-A-D-S. And the gonads are the primary sex organ. That's going to be your testes for the male and the ovaries for the female. Now, the testes for the male have to have a couple things. Number one, they produce two things. Number one is they produce the sperm, and number two is they produce testosterone. And that's important for the male secondary sexual characteristics, which we'll get into later. So, but starting from the outside, working our way in and then up and through, is we're going to start talking first about an out pouch of skin of the abdominal wall called the scrotum. Now, down the middle of the scrotum, if we draw it like, let's say here, the scrotum, it has a line down the middle on the outside. That's called the raphe, R-A-P-H-A-E. Hopefully you can see that. And on the inside, there's actually a septum, and there's two separate compartments for those testes to be. One on the right and one on the left. Now, the testes have an attachment called through the spermatic cord, which goes up through the inguinal canal, which is right if you have the legs coming down like this. Okay, there we go, the legs like this. We have this inguinal canal, and there's an opening here, and this is where you can get hernias. So hernias, when the intestines get pushed out through that little section, and they bubble out through here, and those can become strangulated, and they have to do surgery to get them back in there. If it strangulates too long, you can have necrosis and all kinds of other problems. Now, other things that are cool about those, the testes that is they have to be kept about 3 degrees below normal body temperature. And the reason for that is because that's the best environment in which to produce sperm. So when it's warm, the muscles in here called the cremaster, which we'll put, I guess, here. It's here E-M-A-S-T-E-R, the cremaster muscle. Oh, you can't even see that, but I'll type it up here. So the cremaster muscle, and we have what's called the cremaster reflex. Now, the cremaster muscle are two paired muscles. It is skeletal muscle, but it's involuntary, and it will pull the spermatic cord up in accordance to the temperature, or let go or release. Now, if you want, you can also do what's called the cremaster reflex, which is taking a scrapey thing like the back of a pen or something and scrape on the inside of the thigh, and that corresponding side muscle will contract and pull that testes up towards the inside. What else we got here? Generally, a testes is about 2.5 centimeters wide, which is about an inch, and then about 4 centimeters tall, which is about 1.5 inches, 2 inches maybe. So they're small. They're external. They should be non-tender. They're covered in a dense connective tissue, and we're going to. Okay. So each testes is held obviously outside the body, and it's an oval formation, and it's covered in a tissue called the tunica albuginea. Okay, so which means white. It's a white connective tissue, and that it goes inside and makes these little compartments. And inside those compartments, you're going to have seminiferous tubules, and those are little squiggly tubules inside here where we are actually going to make sperm. Now, sperm is going to be created in this section in the process called spermatogenesis. And spermatogonia are your first guys. That's the first little parts of the cell. Now, each one of these, when we have, remember mitosis and meiosis and that stuff, this is mitosis. We're going to go from a single cell, and it's going to have 2 exact daughter cells, which is going to have 2 more, which is 4. So each one of the original spermatogonia are going to have spermatocytes, the secondary spermatocytes. It's going to be 4 for each cell. You're going to see in females, it's going to be 1 for 1 because everything else dies off. Okay, so we start off with spermatogonia, then we have first primary and secondary spermatocytes. Those turn into what are called spermatids, and spermatids around them are called Sertoli cells, and they make up the spermatogonia or spermatozoa. Around this stuff in here are what are called cells of Leydig. I don't have a different color to really put, but we'll put a little in here. The cells of Leydig, L-E-Y, it's L-E-Y. L-E-Y-D-I-G, and those make testosterone. Okay, so basically, there you go. There's the testes in a in a sac, I guess you'd say, in the scrotum. Now, next thing we're going to go after is, after this, I'm going to do a little bit different. We're going to have to talk about a thing called the epididymis, which is a little guy that hangs on the outside, and then eventually turns into the spermatic cord, where the vas deferens and goes up into the body and this kind of stuff. So that's going to be our second video of this. So there you go. First one. Talked about scrotum outside stuff. Secondary characteristics of the male are going to be body hair, thickening of the skin, actually, darkening of the skin, and growth of the genitals, facial hair, deepening of the voice because of the actions of testosterone on those structures. So other things would be thickening of the hair, or the face, of course, and that kind of stuff. And like I said, deepening of the voice, sometimes a larger body frame, and increased muscle mass, and decrease in the subcutaneous fat. So there you go. That's step 1. We're going to do step 2 in a few minutes.